Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Black Knights Weekly. I'm Nick DeSanctis. This week we'll meet our Army Athletic Association Athlete of the Week, talk to the all-time digs leader at Army, get some insight about penalty kicks, and spend some time with the Corps of Cadets cannon crew. First up today is our Army Athletic Association Athlete of the Week. Senior volleyball player Megan Wilton had a rough road to recovery after an ACL injury, but has made her way back into the lineup, played an integral role in her team's 2-0 weekend to open Patriot League play.
I found out from a teacher in one of my classes, actually, but it's an honor, it's a privilege. It's my first one, and it's awesome to represent like the academy for that week. So I think that means a lot more to represent the academy and just like your conference and your sport. So I'm really honored, and I really appreciate it being, nominated. So the road back, man, long, very painful, very depressing at some points. Just had to go in every day, work hard, had a goal every single day, every single month, every single couple months. It's tough to go from playing at your fullest potential to being on crutches in a second. But it's taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to be very humble. It taught me to appreciate everything physically in your life. It's brought me closer to my teammates. And if it wasn't for my teammates, I wouldn't be back on the court. Getting an injury in a sport is a lot more supportive than just getting an injury if you weren't in a sport, because you don't really have that support system. So if it wasn't for my teammates, I probably wouldn't be here where I am today in my volleyball career. So our team gels so well because all of us contribute to a win. It's not just like one or two people. It's more of a team this year because of that, and no matter what player we put in, we can accomplish our goals and win a game, win a match overall. So every step is calculated in my head before I do it. I don't want to injure myself again, but like I said earlier, I appreciate everything, every hit I get, every opportunity I'm able to score or for my team. It's because they supported me in the past in the rehab room. So I think that's the only thing that's different. I appreciate every little thing instead of taking it for granted. So.
The volleyball team travels to take on Colgate tomorrow night. The Army women's soccer team has capitalized on both penalty kick opportunities that they've had this season. Erica Nlovu walks us through how she handles one of the most exciting plays in the sport in this week's night school.
Lael one-on-one with Kathleen Early in a 0-0 game.
Hi, I'm Erica Nlovu. I'm number 2. I'm a forward, and I'm also a yuck, and I'm about to teach you how to take a penalty kick. So there's a foul, or we've gotten into penalty kicks, we gotta take a PK. So my thing that I like to do is to get the ball from the ref. I like to look, if the field's kind of rough, our field's nice, but if the field's kind of rough, I like to find a nice spot to place my ball so that the ball's not in a divot. And then I make sure that I get a nice run up to the ball. Plant foot down. Make sure I get a nice stride up in case I'm a little tired. And then I always go for placement, and I'm always consistent with the way I strike it. And I always go for that left corner side netting. If I hit that perfectly, goalkeeper doesn't have a chance. Perfect. There it is. Woo! Right. I'm Erica Nlovu, and that's how you take a PK.
Early back on her line. Lael looking things over, steps in, shoots one, she scores! Anna Lael, 1-0 Army!
The Army women's soccer team takes on Boston on Saturday afternoon. DJ Fee of the volleyball team holds the all-time Army record in digs and is second all-time in the Patriot League. In this week's Cadet Spotlight, DJ talks to us about this year's team, as well as her family ties to West Point.
It's a great honor. There have been great players that have come before me, and I still play with awesome girls. To be able to get the most digs is just a tribute to the girls that I play with right now, because without them I definitely couldn't have done that. We've definitely had to have everyone step up all the time. In the past we've been able to not play as well, but we had certain go-to players that could bring us out of it. Right now we're starting to realize that we have to show up for every match. All 6 of us, whoever's on the court, have to play together. We talked about how you could see it as a weakness, but I think towards the end of the season we're going to see it as one of our biggest strengths, that we rely so heavily on each other. I don't. It's awesome to have a parent who played football here. Actually, at one point we had 5 girls on the volleyball team who had dads that played Army football, so that was a funny time. But no, I don't feel like I'm in his shadow. He's awesome. He supports me, and he hardly ever talks about his football days. He only makes me watch his Army-Navy games once a year, so. Actually, my dad was like, I don't know if you want to do this. He's told me a lot of times about how hard it was for him, but as soon as I stepped onto West Point, I knew that this is where I wanted to come. My favorite part about being here is definitely the people I've met. I've met my best friends, my friends for life. It's just been a great experience. The type of people that you're exposed to, it's unreal.
Next up is our Army one-on-one. There are many unique traditions at Michie Stadium as part of a football game day, one of which is the firing of cannons after the Army team scores and at various points throughout the game. Often imitated, never duplicated, it's the Corps of Cadets cannon crew in this week's Army one-on-one.
Field, this is Maine, over.
Maine, reminder that you need to fire at the end of the corridor along with us, over.
Roger that.
Volley fire, volley fire!
I'm Cadet Daniel Freeman. I'm a firstie, and I'm the cadet in charge of the United States Corps Cadets Cannon Crew. Show up early, we sign for the guns, we retrieve those from the military police. We set them in place here in front of the stadium. We're also in charge of another cannon that goes inside the stadium, and anytime the Army team scores, we ensure those are fired in the appropriate manner after the national anthem, then the football game. Our job is to make sure these cannons are fully functioning, well equipped and prepared, and the individuals are ready to operate those cannons for every game.
I'm Luke Bernay.
Volley fire, volley fire!
Basically the acting first sergeant for the cannon crew, and my job includes giving the firing commands, either volley fire or sequence fire, and then ensuring the general functionality and maintenance of the guns. My verbal orders will either be volley fire or sequence fire. I'll call that out, and then I will, for volley fire, I'll just give my hand, stick my hand out at 90 degrees, raise it up a little bit, and then drop it. At the moment that my hand hits my leg, the guns are supposed to shoot in unison.
Volley fire, volley fire!
Sequence fire is a little bit different. We have 3 primary guns for that, since we're always going to be shooting in multiples of 3, and then we have 1 reserve gun on the end in case somebody has a jam or some sort of malfunction. So I'll point to the gun, I'll call sequence fire, sequence fire. I'll point to the guns one at a time, point my hand out, drop it down, the first gun will fire. Point to the second gun, drop it down, second gun will fire. Let's say the third gun is a malfunction. I'll then use my left hand to designate the reserve gun, point to them, drop my hand, and then they fire, and then the cycle continues from the first gun.
Sequence fire!
These guns are called 75mm pack howitzers. The reason is, when they were designed, they wanted to be designed in a way that they could be carried by pack mules. They're all designed so they can be disassembled, taken down into smaller parts, and carried through the mountains. The oldest gun here was assembled in '41. The next one was assembled in 1944. Some of these weapons actually saw action in Korea. So these weapons have been around. They've actually been repainted and refurbished, and now we use them for ceremonial purposes.
Hi, my name's Willie Anderson. I'm from Company I3. I'm an environmental science major here at West Point, and I'm a firstie, and I'm on the cannon crew. These guns, pretty old. Most of them were made in the 40s. Obviously, they're not part of the United States' arsenal anymore, but they're still used for ceremonial purposes. These particular guns are actually taken care of most of the year by the MPs here at West Point, and so they use them for various ceremonies, but during the football games, they belong to us. Loading procedures, pretty basic. This is what we shoot out of it. This is a 75mm blank cartridge. Obviously, if you were going to be firing real rounds, the actual explosive charge would be here. Loads in through the breech, up into the barrel, and then closes up. It's fired by this pull cord right here. Just pull that back. And then the round is dropped by opening it back up. Usually in practice, these would be firing pretty quickly. So they would load one round, drop the next one, and there would be piles of brass.
So sequence events for us after the Army team scores, depending on what's scored in there, we'll either fire 3 shots or 6 shots, and then we'll fire, and that occurs after the field gun shoots a round off. We'll look at the scoreboard, see how many points went up, and then we'll shoot the according number of rounds. That'll be sequence fire, and then we also shoot volley fires at the end of the half and at the beginning of the game, and following the alma mater and the national anthem.
Sequence fire! Sequence fire!
My name is Yomanda Martin. I'm the class of 2015, and I load the field cannon. This was originally a 37mm anti-tank weapon. The barrel was shortened by the engineering department and placed on this chassis so that we could use it within the football games in the stadium. The adapter, this is a 37mm adapter. You take the 10-gauge shotgun shell and place it within the adapter. Then you push down on the lever, feed the adapter into the cannon, let it go, pull the string, and it fires.
I'm Seth Bond, class of 2015, and on the weekends I cook food for the cannon crew. Head chef, so to speak. This year I asked to just be the cook so we could expand our culinary horizons. Got some teriyaki and sesame ginger chicken, cheddar franks, jalapenos with cream cheese wrapped in bacon, good pork loin going.
Sequence fire! Sequence fire! Go Army!
Lastly today, we go back down to Clinton Field for 15 seconds with Army Athletics.
America, this is Erica Lovu.
And Pamela Wishart.
And on Saturday, we have a game against Boston University at 3 o'clock at Clinton Field.
Come out and support Army Women's Soccer.
Go Army!
Thanks so much for joining us on this week's edition of Black Knights Weekly. Until next time, for Night Vision, I'm Nick DeSanctis. Go Army!